Yeah, Michael has a little piece of surgical tape over the eye, medically safe.
Yeah, I know, but they're like in the States, that's not allowed, you know, prior to a...
there was a rules conference before this bout in which that was debated, and now the Australians in with it. Now, there's a very heavy psychic battle going on there with the boys giving the eye. Alan Barry giving the big stare there. Which one will crack?
I don't think anyone's going to crack till after the first bat. This gets to be quite a hype, and you know, I think it gets overdone. Just gets to be a little too much. It seems every fighter now goes in the center of the ring trying to stare the other one down, and it gets to a point that sometimes becomes a joke. But I don't think this one is a joke. There seems to be some very strong feelings between the two.
John, you've seen Earthquake Carter in action.
I've seen him in just about all of his professional fights.
He now bows in prayer before the first bell rings. Barry Michael at the apex of a career. Is he going to go on towards world title?
Well, the winner of this fight will definitely be fighting for a title in the near future. You're going to watch Al as a good boxer, tremendous puncher. He's always dangerous. He can hit with either hand. Barry's got experience. He may have fought better fighters, but Al Carter is probably the most feared lightweight prospect in the world today.
Michael moving nicely in these early seconds as he just slides away from the jabbing attacks.
Barry has a reputation of having a very good chin.
And what I want to tell you, Donnie, is a very good body shot.
I can see that.
Looking to go under the elbows of Al.
This is a situation where...
Nice head moving by the Australian champion. Powerful left grip by Barry Michael of Australia.
It's really going to be a question of if Barry can withstand the power of Al Carter, and what's going to happen with body punches in the later rounds. Al is never going 10 rounds. He's knocked out everything that he's fought. He scored 19 KOs in a row. He has 23 out of 24. I saw the fight where he got stopped by 4 swings, and he got stopped simply because he fell to the canvas and he sprained his leg, and he was hobbling around, and they stopped the fight. That's the only time he's been stopped. Winchester refused to meet him.
Elbow right in the body by Michael, and Earthquake pulls into the canvas with a tug behind the neck. Devastating blows by the American fighter.
And Barry has withstood those. He took those shots without flinching.
He's still stunned from that right hand on the button that came straight after his own good slug. Michael needs to hold that left hand out. A dynamite stinger with that right hand by Carter, which jumps home again on the jaw.
First round. I don't know how long this fight's going to go. I don't think it can absolutely go 10 rounds. I don't know if Carter can go 10. He's in superb shape. He's never trained for a fight in his life like this. Barry Michaels has gone 12, and I believe has he gone 15 also?
15 rounds on a number of occasions. The distance is no trouble, but no. The blows, of course, can he withstand the shock punching of Carter? Michael got away with the first big punch, staggered Carter. He was very close to deck there as he was flung backwards, but becomes most dangerous when hurt, as we see, because he came back with a slashing right hand on the button. Michael was indeed in trouble. Scoring for the first round?
I gave the first round to Carter because of the ending of the fight. 10-9.
I didn't see it that way. In fact, I had an even round with Michael perhaps taking it by a shade on effective punches.
Let's keep your scorecard. We keep mine.
Keep 2 cards.
Here's yours. Round 2.
Into round 2, and Michael knows that the right-hand counter of Carter is a devastator. He must keep that left hand up high.
We're going to keep in mind that Al can punch down. That he should be able to reach Barry with those right hands and those left hooks. Oh, another good one. Barry has been hit with some of the best shots you could imagine, and he's standing up to those shots and he's fighting back. He's got some chin, this kid. He works very well inside. Carter's going to make a mistake standing on the ropes. He's got to get off the ropes, because that's where it can be dangerous.
Michael's strength telling at this early stage. I haven't seen Barry hit like this before on elbow.
No one believes it. Carter, I think, is maybe the best one-punch lightweight and probably the hardest punching lightweight in the world today. And incredibly, even though he's got some early knockouts, he seems to really get going. Allen talking about more like in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. He started very fast. But I guess he started fast because Barry's putting the pressure on him. The situation that Al has to keep Barry on the end of that long left hand, set him up, put the combination together, and Barry has to get inside.
Strong left hook by the Australian champion. Driving home to the head of Carter. And Carter is dangerous when he's pinned in the corner. He flurries underneath with uppercuts. With that dangerous right counter, swift as lightning.
So when Jim worked out, they were comparing Carter to Joe Brown and to Freddie Dawson, which we can't compliment anyone more. The time will tell. And I must say this, I'm very impressed with Barry, with his chin, with the way he fights. He's aggressive, he's a very good body puncher. He's got to be one of Australia's best fighters.
Once again, Don, I saw the Australian shining the room, more than shining the round, winning that round comfortably. Yes. I understand you saw it the other way.
No, I gave Barrow that round. No. I gave Barrow
that round. That's good. We don't allow the chauvinism or patriotism to cloud our gaze, but obviously they're influenced by what we know.
No, I've got a 1 round apiece, but again, I don't think these points are going to mean anything by the end of the fight.
Brian Membry, former lightweight contender. Brian, how have you seen the fight so far?
I got the first beating, maybe Michael.
What about the standard of the two competitors?
Superb. Absolutely. Both beautifully sharp, needle sharp, and punching very hard. Very dangerous.
Round 3.
Both of these boys are ready to fight before the bell. There's so much at stake. There is so much at stake for both fighters. The World Championship, high ratings.
Surprising me that his left hook has been one of his best punches tonight. He's usually a right-hand puncher, but in fact, against this sneak punching right hand of Carter, the left hook has perhaps more to go.
He's got to, yeah, true. That's true. He's
trying to shoot against the right and beat him to it. But Carter, very fast hands. Very fast, very hard counter punches. But Barry's strength showing again. As he brings the American to the corner. Is there a cut? There's a cut on the left eye of Barry Michael. The eye has been opened. Weights were fighting in close in the corner, and out he came with blood.
That is definitely bothering Barry.
Now the tape has come loose on the eye of Barry Michael. And the blood runs down the edge. Bad trouble for Barry Michael, Australian and Commonwealth lightweight champion. A big right hand bombs upon the wound.
He got hurt by both the right hand and left hook.
But Michael underneath with a strong left hand dig under the elbow. But Carter's punching is venomous. Earthquake they call him. Tremendous trembling punches.
That punch landed high. If it would have landed on the chin, Barry could have been in trouble.
Two right hands. And Michael parries away the stunning left jab of the American. Carter misses with a long right hand. And finds him in the follow-up left. Michael in big trouble with his left eyebrow opened, an old wound as the tapes come off.
Can we get a camera on that eye or not?
We don't have a rerun of that. The word from referee Gus passed down to Judge Basten that punches caused the wound. The punches the on-spot observation of referee Gus that punches caused the wound to the left eye in the third round.
Well, right now I've got Barry still slightly ahead. I gave him that second round, or that third round, even though he got cut and even though he got hurt. I think he landed more punches, and I got him ahead by 1 point.
Michael's defence proving rather sound against his dynamiter. Knockout punches in either hand of Al Carter, but Michael's keeping his hands up, working his way in.
It's really a credit. Barry has a tremendous chin. He has taken some of the best punches, some of the hardest punches any lightweight in the world could deliver, and he has not hit the canvas. And he's trying to get that body, he's trying to slow Al down, and that can be a very big thing in the latter rounds if this fight goes into the latter rounds.
The body punching of Michael to tell upon Carter if it develops?
It could. Those are very good body shots. They're landing well. The eye opened up again. It looks like the eye has opened up again.
What was the cause of that fallover? Was it a
No, it just slipped. Hal was landing and
Michael wakes the crowd with strong punches to the face of the roped American. Barry walked into a right hand as he threw his own. Dynamite uppercut by Al Carter breaks through with the jaw of Barry. That one hit him on the elbow, I believe.
I thought it hit him in the stomach.
Did it? Tremendous right hand. Lightning.
The blood is pouring down. The blood is pouring down again.
The eye is busted open now. Michael goes back trailing blood to his corner at the end of that fourth torrid round.
At one point.
I thought that round came out even on the punches landed.
That's just how I scored it.
That wound is a bad one. What can they make of it? Can they sustain, curve the flow?
I doubt it. It looks like this is one of these cuts that's going to open up every round, and then it's going to get worse and worse. We can go 10 rounds with that. I don't.
There's an injury first sustained against Jimmy Brown in a title fight when Jimmy's elbow following through in the first 2 minutes of the fight put a giant gash which required 16 stitches. And now it seems to be in trouble, but Barry, the face of a fighter, the face of a determined fighting man, coming in with the Australian spirit.
Barry's hurt, I think, with those shots in the body. The eyes cut open again, it looks like.
Barry reaching for the eye, rubbing the blood away. Distress showing. Rolls his shoulder and goes underneath those lethal punches from Al Earthquake Carter. Michael's not a spectacular head mover, but effective. He slides them over the shoulder and stays in punching range. Lets his own go. Awakens the hopes of his supporters.
Barry seemed to be using his head inside there.
He gave him a little bit of nuzzle on the chin, but he's not on the eye area. At that time they bumped and Al's shoulder came into collision with the eye of Michael. Barry punching to the side of his dangerous opponent.
This is
shocking right uppercut by Carter. And Michael took it. On the chin. Undeterred. Coming back with more. Now Barry stopped. edge in that 5th round of this lightweight international. At the halfway mark, Barry Michaels looking good. His eye is bad, but his courage is high, and his punches are telling. And Carter was showing signs of tiredness in that 5th round. And now a little piece of advice from my co-caller, Don Elbaum, whose heart has swept into the American corner as he passed some inside information through manager Nick Myers.
What I said is I think he's got to go to the body. I'm going to have this kid's got one of the greatest chins. He's got an iron chin. They've done a very good job, by the way. They keep closing the cuffs for Sal keeps opening it up. Barry is really on that attack.
In Atlantic City on Saturday night, Don, Gardo Gonzalez, the undefeated fighter, met his match. Can it be that Earthquake Carter is looking at the man that can break that fearsome knockout record down?
He could be, both fighters could be looking at it.
It's a body-punching duel. Elbaum's advice to the corner. Carter's trying for the body retaliation.
Yeah, looks like it's open up again.
And Barry inside with a short left hook. But Al leans on and works those dynamite underneath uppercuts. In the close quarter fighting, Michael more than holding his own. He's flung back by a punch and then a shoulder charge.
What a fight. Both of these fighters have taken tremendous punishment. They've been fighting back. What heart.
It looks to me, Don, as if Al is feeling the heat.
I think so. He slowed down a bit. He's such an explosive puncher.
Nick, fire!
Harry got hit with a good right hand. Took it. Came right back.
Carter punching with the power that stretched out 23 foes, but somehow the iron-jawed Australian is shaking off the effects.
Standing right up there.
There's Michael leaning on him against Earthquake Carter. On he comes. Carter landing flooding counters.
No, I was just telling the manager of Al Carter that he's got to stay, that Al's got to stay on the body if he's going to win this fight. Up to this point, I think that Barry has a lead in rounds. I've got the fight 1-3-1 and Barry. And Barry really impressive. Iron chin fighter. Lots of heart. Puts tremendous pressure. He certainly is a worthy champion, and he must be probably the best fighter here in all of Australia.
Yes, heart from the bottom from the soles to the head. A true fighting champion. And may I tell you at this stage that Carter's gymnasium form had me in awe, but tonight I'm seeing those powers of endurance and determination tell. Suggest that maybe the sting's starting to go from Carter?
Well, remember, the punch is always the last thing to go. All right? And I've seen these dangerous punches on the last legs and throwing that one desperation shot, and they, for some way, seem to be able to put it together like they just did now.
Two right hands.
Another one.
Crashed home, but Barry merely comes on punching. You remember that poster of Don we showed you, never floored in 44? I suggested if he was 1944 fighter, but in fact he's never been floored by the biggest hitters. Will Carter succeed?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think Al has had every fighter that he's ever fought on the floor, including Winchester that stopped him. So this is going to be an amazing thing at the moment to Barry's durability and his chin.
Al off with a strong right hand, but Barry met the head, but that uppercut did a lot of damage. A punch to take out most lightweights. Barry's been hit with 20 knockout force punches, but on he comes, making the fight, dressing his man.
I want to say that the corner's done a very good job on Barry's eye. Oh, it is open again, though, I see. I don't think the fans could ask for a greater fight.
Michael underneath the looping right and in with his own rib tickler. Michael himself missing over the top. Carter off with both hands, but Michael blocks them off. And there's Barry with a little tap underneath on the forward-leaning face of Carter, and now a good right hand connects from Barry Michael. Once again, Don Elbaum leaving the corner. The New York promoter is going to pass instructions or information into the corner of Al Earthquake Carter. And as I understand it, he's telling him to stick to the body, punch to the body, because the headshots are not telling on what he calls our iron-chinned Australian fighter. Barry Michael once again under the corner ministrations of Graham Schofield, who's got the patch on again. Will it hold? 3 rounds to go in this lightweight title eliminator. Barry fighting for a shot at the world title. Will his endurance and strength tell against the blasting punch of Al Earthquake Carter, the most feared lightweight in the United States? The man who has floored every foe he has met. But tonight Barry didn't look like falling, even though he was stunned by punches that could bring down the board, but now he's hurt. Barry is hurt. He's gone. believes that Carter may have punched himself out. But I believe he's dangerous with every punch. Barry's still rolling under those punches, moving his head aside. Carter drove into the body with a right. Brian, I thought Barry was gone there against the ropes.
Yes, he looked a bit carefully like he was going to fall.
99 lightweights in 100 would have been down on the neck and finished. Watch out for that uppercut, Barry.
He's coming back again, Michael. Right with it. Michael hitting him left and right limb. Carter throwing his best, Michael.
Oh, grazed Barry with a slug and a half. Just took the whiskers off his chin, but didn't connect fully. And back comes Barry with that very reliable left kick to the ribs.
A great round for Carter.
Tonight, with the scores at stake, with the world title shot in the swing, we've got the best three officials in Australia, and we've got the most honest boxing man of all, Henry Nissen, recording at ringside. The judges are putting the cards through after each round. Round by round, they send them down to the recorder. Can you pick up Henry Nissen? Who files the card. Coming up with 2 to go, 80% home. And Barry comes out firing with the right. Al slides away from it. Carter has never been past the 8th round before. And you'll notice, Brian Membry, that Don Elbaum has now forsaken the table. He's down there in the corner trying to call the shots. It's Barry Michael stalking. Tries a little side shot of his own. Barry's been a winner for Michael tonight. That over the top. Keeping those hands up, Michael, against the punches that can take you out. Now it's Carter under the ribs. Barry's bleeding from a little bump on the shoulder.
The pace has slowed a little now, Michael.
Yes, and Carter's got the power still, but it's Barry's body punch against him. Carter came with the left hook.
Michael.
And he runs face first into a short left hook. But then he wrestles his man and pushes him onto the ropes. Blood and spittle flow out of the face of the Australian. And now Carter's coming on for some big ones. And it's Michael on the strength. And the strength of Barry Michael once again in evidence. Carter's never been past 8 rounds. He's into the 9th. And now it's Carter with the head. Carter protesting the head, but I think there were 2 bulls in there at once.
Great body punch by Michael. Holding. Beautiful punch going. Great punches by Michael.
my card, Michael has only conceded 2 rounds of 9 to the Demon Puncher from Alliance, Ohio. What a display of heart, what a display of determination, iron resistance, and strong
physical strength.
Right. Do you want to have a last one? Come and join us afterwards, John. Right, Brian Schofield, how have you called it? How have you seen it?
Well, as I see it, I don't think Barry's lost the round yet, Mike.
He's staring a lightweight title shot in the face if he can go through this 10th round.
This is the best I've ever seen Barry Michaels go, Mike. I'd say if he keeps up his style like this, he'd win a world title at his effort tonight. Not many fighters in the world could stand up to body shots like that for 15 rounds, Mike. All credit to Al Carter, though. Look at that dynamite punching by Al Carter there. Barry Michael unflustered by it, Mike.
Nick Myers thumping the ropes, thumping the ring like drums to send his boy on for the last chance.
Knockout's the only thing going to save for Al Carter at the moment, Mike. I think Al's just about dying himself here.
Al looks over the shoulder of Barry, seeking inspiration from his corner. What can they tell him?
I don't think anything's going to save him now. Look, beautiful right hand by Michael.
Barry Michael, the immovable object, has resisted the hardest punches of the irresistible force, and he's on his way to victory in the 10th and final round.
This isn't world-class action, Mike. I don't know what is. I wouldn't see a better fight than this anywhere in the world.
Oh, once again, Carter into the face, but it's Michael going on with it.
Barry Michael's punching a lot harder to the head these days too, Mike.
Carter flies over the top with a desperation punch. And that trusty right to the body from Michael.
That'd have to be his
Throws it from the hip. Once again, those body shots tell. Barry's been landing them all night and they've proved a match winner. A minute to go in the last round and Michael's looking at that title gleam. Safe and steady and strong and close.
No doubt he's capable of winning a world title, Mike. All credit, man.
But he let it go when he heard the bell. Hey, Al's out.
What a spectacular fight.
I have your attention for the final scorecards. Judge L. Basten sees the fight. 94 Carter, 99 Michael. Referee Mercurio gives it 94 Michael, 94 Carter. The final undecided green card by Judge Denzil. 98